All right. What is up, people of the internet? Welcome to No Lowballs Podcast, episode 8. I am one of your hosts, JB from Infinite Armory.
I'm your other host, Holden from Red City Pro Shop. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and today is pretty great because we are coming off the heels of our first guest right into having our second guest on the podcast.
We're going to keep that momentum going.
We're on a streak right now,
yes,
which is pretty exciting. So today I have the extreme pleasure of welcoming one of my best friends in the whole world, Cole.f, as everybody knows him. Cole, welcome to the podcast.
Dude, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm very excited for you as a guest. I kind of want to outline some of my topics that I expect us to talk about. Mm-hmm. First one, Scar Heavies. Hopefully that'll make an appearance on today's podcast.
It will for sure.
How it's the worst battle rifle ever.
That'll get spicy.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. Yeah. I don't know a ton about you. We're acquaintances, but it's kind of fun. I got into the gun industry, and one of the first accounts I followed was Tiny Crumb, JB.
It was a good account.
It was a good account.
R.I.P.
Tiny Crumb.
Yeah.
It was also one of mine first, too.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so, he was my first, and then you were probably second or third.
Man, appreciate it.
It's kind of fun. I was going through some of my old photos from like probably 2016 or 2017, maybe 2018, whatever. And there's some ones you had done with like an AK with the Wolverine. And it's the guy with the painted fingernails. Was that one of yours? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah. It's my boy Spencer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was like one of the first photos that I was like, this is awesome.
Thanks, man.
So appreciate it's very cool. I'm kind of, it's one of those things where if you will it is no dream or whatever. So I'm excited to be talking with both you guys.
Dude, likewise.
Yeah, it's stoked. So, Cole, we are going to get into our typical industry stuff. Mm-hmm. We'll have tons of conversations on guns and battle rifles and whatnot. But before we do that, I always kind of do something that can be annoying, but I love hearing about the man behind the account. So you don't got to go into too much detail, but I know a little bit of it, but I just kind of want to hear your story. Like how are you, how did you end up here? How are you the way that you are? Where do you come from? Again, doesn't have to be super detailed, but give us the high level overview of the Cole behind Cole.f.
Yeah. So from Southern Oregon originally, that's actually how Josh and I, JB and I met.
That's right.
He was out in Bend. I was in Grants Pass. So,
great little town.
Yeah, great town. When
do you say that there authentically? Like, do you still like Grants Pass?
Grants Pass is great. I was just out there for a shoot.
Okay.
There's pros and cons of everyone's hometown, right? But Oregon as a whole is a great state.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. The air is clean when there's no fires. But it's hard. I mean, we're having fires up in like Salt Lake now too. Mm-hmm. So
you guys just broke a heat record up in Salt Lake too.
Yeah, dude. Only difference is
109.
I don't have trees.
Yeah.
So Oregon has some good things going for it. Obviously, some laws are.
Did you see the meme that was floating around X the other day about there are two Oregons?
No.
There was a great meme that somebody wrote. I reposted it and couldn't hit the heart button fast enough, but it literally said there are two Oregons, and it was a photo of like an old West cowboy dude like out like on the range with his rifle,
Eastern Oregon,
and then a photo of like some blue-haired politician, and I was like, like, that pretty much sums it up,
dude. It's hard, and maybe this is one of my hot takes here, but I love super liberal cities. Austin, Portland, Seattle.
Hell yeah, dude. I think I'm with you on
LA. Dude, I love culture.
Yeah.
And I think being able to go to great restaurants and dude, I think I'm not super political. I'm not getting super political here, but I feel like a lot of the more red cities are kind of bland.
They're boring. Yeah. I'm with you.
So I don't mind, dude. I'll pop into Portland. When I lived in Grants Pass, dude, or Portland trips were like a normal weekend thing. And like the whole motto there is keep Portland weird, and it is weird, and you'll meet some weird people, but you can also go to some great restaurants. There's great like live music venues. So there's things there's a lot that I miss about living in Oregon, and Portland is one of them. Yeah. Portland being that close.
Yeah.
Being close to the ocean.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, I miss the ocean. Like when I was down there last, went to my buddy's beach house, And it was just sick, dude. Walking out on the beach with nods at night, and just like seeing the stars, hearing the waves crash, that cool breeze, dude. I miss that. Salt Lake, we've got
favorite Oregon beach town.
I mean, Brookings is
okay.
I feel like a basic answer.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Like, yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, Brookings is awesome.
Cool.
But yeah, so graduate high school in Grants Pass, technically Merlin, so kind of like outside of city limits. Lived there for a hot minute. I've kind of hopped around the West Coast before finally making my way out to Salt Lake, Utah. Kind of followed in suit with you. Couldn't go as south. Had to stay out of the heat a little bit.
Yeah,
I say that now, but our 109 record.
Yeah, that was nuts,
dude.
Didn't see that coming.
No.
After like the driest winter on record too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Snow
No, not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think actually you moving out here, and then one of my other buddies, Jake, he had moved out here. Now he's back in Oregon. Was a pretty.
Did you come after us? For some reason, I thought that you moved out before us. But did you come afterwards?
No, I was like a year after you.
Okay.
Yeah. But after you'd moved out here, I was like, okay, so like let's throw it at the wall here. I moved to Utah. Let's say everything sucks. I make no friends. At least I know you're here and we can hang out. Yeah. And then worst case, I'll move to St. George, But met some other people too. I'd visited Salt Lake 2 or 3 times before moving here. Okay. One of my other good buddies, Jay, he had lived out here and he invited me out. And that was kind of an interesting trip. So we met online, as you do, Instagram type thing. Big gun dude, big AK guy. And he was kind of just like, hey, dude, when do you want to come hang out? And I was like, well, what are you doing next weekend? And I drove out here. And then on the way out, he had like a surprise, like a trip come up that he had to go on. And he had 2 dogs at the time. And he's like, dude, will you dog sit for me?
Nice.
And I had never met this dude in person yet.
Okay.
But I was like, dude, totally. Like, we'll hang out for like the weekend. And we did. We hung out for the weekend. And then I dog sat for him for like 4 days. And I kind of got the lay of the land. I knew a couple other people out in Salt Lake ahead of time. So I hung out with them. Super into cars.
Okay.
So most of the people I knew out here beforehand were like big car guys. So we hit the track a couple times. And like they kind of showed me the lay of the land. But yeah, then my buddy got back into town, hung for a couple more days, and then I went back to Oregon. And then it was kind of after that trip. I think that after that trip, I was like, man, this place is pretty tight. And then the first winter I was here was like, or at least up in Salt Lake, was like a record-breaking winter.
Okay.
Like freeways were iced over, tons of snow. So I went into this, I was like, man, this is the norm. It was not the norm. Since then, dude, I've seen like a handful of snow days. And that was like a big reason I moved out here. I was like, man, dude.
Yeah, because you like the snow days.
I love the snow, dude. Yeah. I was stoked for that, dude. Let me wear my Arc'teryx.
That's right.
Let me go snowboarding. I suck at snowboarding, to be clear. I'm a ski guy.
Okay.
But I wanted to learn. But yeah, since then, dude, the winters have been like kind of a bummer. And the inversion, the air quality's been kind of a killer.
Yeah, one of my most beautiful snow times was being downtown Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And I had a friend whose dad lived on like Capitol Hill. And I remember dropping her off and driving through downtown like midnight. And it's just this beautiful snowfall. There's nobody out.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, holy
The snow
cow.
catches like the street
Yeah,
lights
I'm
and
like,
stuff.
oh, I did it.
City lights in the snow is something else.
Insane. Yeah.
We had some pretty epic snowstorms when we lived in Seattle, weirdly enough. And same thing, like driving through those hilly, like concrete roads. You're one of the only people that out because I had 4-wheel drive and most people didn't. Yep. So like I could get through it. And it's like making fresh tracks on city streets with all the street lights out. There's nothing like it.
No, there isn't.
Yeah. And good tunes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm a heater full blast, windows down kind of guy, too.
Okay.
But yeah, man, since that one winter, it's been pretty mild. Mild in a bad way, though. Not mild Oregon mild.
Yeah.
Mild as in like, oh, man, we're going to have a ton of fires.
Yeah.
The air quality is going to suck, and it's going to be dusty everywhere I want to shoot. So it's kind of a bummer. That being said, I feel like I just went off on a tangent about how much I hate Salt Lake.
Our entire podcast is tangents.
That's all we do.
Don't be afraid.
I just want to make it clear. I also love Salt Lake.
Yeah. Holden, I don't even think we've covered this yet, but you're from the Salt Lake area.
Yeah, so I'm from Lehigh.
Okay.
So it's right on the edge of Salt Lake County and Utah County.
Okay.
So
it's a good thing you didn't say American Fork.
I was born in American Fork.
Were you really?
I was.
Okay.
So Yeah, it's right on the edge of Draper. So Draper and, are the border towns of the counties. So I'm where all the Mormons start.
Got it.
Cole's where all the, the blue-haired liberals are.
Got it.
As blue as they get.
Yeah.
How long were you up there before you moved to St. George?
My entire life.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been in Lehigh my entire life. And then I moved down here to St. George 5 years ago. Just about 5 years ago to work where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I love it down here.
Were the winters in Salt Lake always like what we've experienced since coming to Utah, where it's like constantly up and down, or did it used to be more like guaranteed snow every year?
No, I would say it would hit or miss for sure.
All right.
I definitely remember my grandparents had a little bit of property like in Lehigh.
Yeah.
So I remember a ton of snow days type stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember, being, it was on and off a lot. But Lehigh's fun. Lehigh's just huge. Lehigh was like one of the biggest growing cities in the United States.
Okay.
So anytime I go back up there, I'm like, holy cow, dude.
Like totally different.
We're slow life down here. So I love it.
Has you mentioned that you were just back in Grants Pass? Has that gotten bigger at all? Like, is it getting an explosion of people moving out of Portland the way that like Ben did and stuff?
Dude, I couldn't really tell. I definitely noticed a lot of like, I'm air quoting here, hot spots that my buddies and I used to go to have closed. So I don't know if that's to say like it could be just the age group that's moving there to like more a retirement type town. Maybe they're moving in and not going to these places that I like to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't really tell. It was still pretty cool. There was like 5 more car washes than last time I was there. And I was like, dude, I don't know, mattress stores and car washes. I know you guys have seen Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Okay. Car washes are up to something, dude.
Yeah.
There's too many of them, and they're most of the time empty.
It's all cartel.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, man. But cartel in Grants Pass, Oregon, seems off.
They could be.
They could be.
We're definitely getting to the point where we're centering on certain themes of this podcast, and one of the themes that we keep centering on is different random YouTube videos that I like channels that I go down. I actually went down the rabbit hole a little while ago of a guy who documented buying a car wash, and it was a cash business. So he went in and basically like literally from day one, he's like going into all the coin machines, like pulling out all the cash, essentially doing an audit of like, how much does this thing make per day?
For sure.
How much he's going to have to put in it. It was kind of interesting, honestly. Like I was like, I mean, the car washes we have around here are more like
automated stuff.
Yeah. And they're like cartel. They're like big companies that own like all of them.
Yeah.
This was more like an independent thing. But I was like, damn, I can kind of get behind this. Like it was super chill. He only hired like a couple employees. And then honestly, just the logistics of having to collect all the cash and the coin like every day and stuff. Yeah. It was like, I was like, it's not bad. I mean,
I've got a buddy that his full-time job is ATMs and vending machines.
Okay.
So technically self-employed, and he's like killing it.
Yeah.
So those car washes makes total sense to me. Like the self-serve ones, like the bays.
Yep.
The ones that were built in Grants Pass are like, I'll relate them to like a mega church of car washes.
Yeah.
It's like a whole experience to go there.
Oh yeah.
And
we've got that here too. The ones that do like the Halloween night's a big deal. Yeah.
Dude, so
it's a long line.
I just don't understand. Grants Pass is a pretty small town. How are these giant mega car washes staying in business?
It's I-5, man.
Dude.
It's close enough to I-5. People pop off.
But there's a couple of them that are like, off kind of like in like past town over towards like Redwood Avenue. Anyone from Oregon, or Grants Pass, know where that is. But it's like, it's way off the freeway. It's nowhere that someone is going to be like, oh, let's just take a detour. Let's grab In-N-Out and go get a car wash real quick.
Car.
It's way past that. And that's where I was like, dude, something's going on. Something's fishy here.
Yeah.
But
the boring part of it, I think it's a relatively low cost way to get a business on a piece of land and then wait for that land to, what's the word?
Appreciate.
Go up. Appreciate.
Yeah.
Wouldn't a
that
lower
storage centers?
Storage. For sure. Wouldn't a lower cost way be to just buy the land and let it sit though?
Probably.
And because it'll still appreciate then. I mean, even if you zoned it and then just didn't build, or you built a foundation, because these car washes are big, dude. And I know energy isn't free. Their water is not free. Their employees aren't free. And I always see these places that have like 6 to 10 employees working. I'm like, bro, how are What is going on
honestly,
here?
yeah. I wonder if they're making just enough profit to pay property taxes every year, and then
Well, and I assume it's probably easier to get a loan on something when you say I'm going to build a car
Oh,
wash
yeah,
or
that's
a
true, too.
business
Business
versus
loan.
I'm going to buy a parcel
and
let
just sit on it.
Just-
Yeah, that's a good
appreciate
point.
it. Yeah.
But yes, car washes are insane. It's an insane business.
Yeah,
Sorry, what was your question? We're talking about car washes now, but
whatever, dude. That's
Okay,
what we do. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. So we
Yeah.
got your story. I wanna get into talking guns because that's why we're here. One of the I've actually never really even asked you this before, which is funny, but one of the coolest things when you and I met, you were pretty young at the time. Like you were, I don't know how many years out of high school, but not too far.
I think I met you when I was 19.
Okay,
Yeah.
so pretty young.
Yeah.
And I sort of got, I was in Central Oregon at the time, but I had met some friends over in, meeting
Grants
on
Pass.
Instagram as
Yeah.
you do. Yeah. Over in Southern Oregon. And so traveled over a few times, hung out, got to meet all you guys. And one of the things that shocked me, because I had been in California before Oregon, so I was still in the like guns are weird territory or
little
whatever.
Taboo.
Totally. And Grants Pass is very much just like we talked about on the last podcast, like Utah, where guns is just like it's a part of growing
Way of
up
life.
or whatever. What got you into guns at all? Like at what point in your life where like I think this is kind of cool. I think I'm going to shoot guns.
Ah, man. Two things. I'd say obviously video games is the easy one.
Okay.
And then there's a movie, you guys may have seen it. It's called Black Hawk Down.
Hell yeah.
I think every American should be required to watch Black Hawk Down.
Required watching, yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Do you think that movie is in the Library of Congress? Like, is it like canon for
It
the United
should
States
be.
of America?
Yeah, that's some of the
We can start a petition if it's not.
Dude.
What
yeah.
year did Black Hawk Down come out? Do you remember? Was it like early 2000s?
Yeah, I want to. Man,
I don't know off the top of
Jarvis, hit a Google on this.
We need a.
I'm gonna guess
we need a Jamie.
2009.
You know, another funny
my
thing
guess.
about Black Hawk Down, we actually talked about this on a previous episode a little bit. There are so many random actors in that movie that became
A-list.
like Tom Hardy is in
Yeah.
that movie.
Orlando
Yeah.
Bloom's in it.
Yes.
2001.
Johnny,
One. Okay.
we talked about this on a previous episode, but Johnny Strong. Jeez, I'm gonna hit myself in the face. I'm actually wearing his thing right now. He was one of the guys in Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
and he was the guy that played Shugart, like with M14.
Yeah.
And he's done like, I mean, he's done some like random other stuff or whatever, but nothing big.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't know. It's just one of those movies where like you watch it now, and every single scene you're like, that guy's famous.
Dude,
that guy's famous.
Obi-Wan was in it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, forget. I'm not good with actor names, but
Ewan McGregor.
yes, thank you. Yeah, dude, Black Hawk Down was pretty stacked. Great
Yeah.
story, but also like acting
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good film.
But I'd say,
Did you cry
overall-
when you saw it?
Yeah, of
hell
course.
yeah.
I
Cool.
still do.
Yeah, I still do too.
You can't.
You
Dude.
can't not cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a big part of it was video games.
Okay.
So MW2, the original Modern Warfare, and then followed by MW2.
Was that your first Call of Duty? Was Modern Warfare 2?
No, World at War was my
hell
first
yeah,
one.
dude. That was a good one.
That one definitely like got me, I'd say, interested.
Yeah.
But I was too young at the time to really appreciate that I was using an STG-44 in a video
Hell
game.
yeah,
You know.
Wait, did that one have tanks? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah,
We had tanks in that one.
Had tanks.
Yeah.
And that was the
And
introduction.
it was a lot of Soviet stuff in there. Yeah.
It was the introduction of zombies.
That's right. Dude.
Which, dude, at that age, when I finished the campaign, I'm a big story mode guy. I
Yeah.
love a good campaign.
Yeah.
Which very different now. I'm very into like comp
Okay.
type stuff. But dude, finishing that campaign and then leading into zombies. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I was terrified. I remember
It
playing
was
that.
it was
up
pretty
until-
freaky,
dude.
Yeah,
I was
Nazi
playing that-
zombies were not like as normal as they are
No,
now.
I didn't even know, dude. That wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a
yet
thing, yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So my young impressionable mind, I'm sitting
Yeah.
there in the loft, lights off, just like 4 inches from the TV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what's coming out of the fog there? I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's terrifying. That's awful.
Did you
So,
ever play the original zombies?
So I started on Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
And same thing. I remember being terrified. I don't think I played zombies for a while.
The funny thing that to me that I remember about zombies, so I had a crew that I played with that game specifically.
Yeah.
It is so funny to go back and look at how small that map is. Like it's like you're inside, the level 1, and then you make it up to level 2 and you're like, oh my gosh, we're in a whole new world now.
Dude, you got to be careful because like the staircase, you do not want to buy that.
Right. You got to
keep
wait
that
as
locked.
long as possible.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Dude, I just played some original zombies with my buddy Ryan.
Okay.
Shout out Flux, shout out Ryan. But he had a bunch of mods too, some cursed mods. But we did play just like the original. I played on his PC a little bit. And I'm like, man, this brings back memories.
Dude, huge memories.
But even, man, World at War.
And it was funny because it's one of those games that, like, that's all there is. The map is super tiny.
Yeah.
You always end at the same thing, like hiding behind the mystery box in the corner and just like all 4 of you dying. And yet every single night, it's like, what are we doing tonight, bros? Oh, you know what we're doing tonight?
Zombies.
We're getting to level 40, And then it's like, we'll see if we can get to 41.
I remember getting the ray gun the first time.
Oh, hell yeah.
And not knowing what this was. Because this was before I was like super into like, I don't know, YouTube culture. I wasn't watching like Let's Plays or anything.
Right.
Yeah, man, dude, that was World at War. That's a throwback.
Yeah, and what do you remember? What Call of Duty: The Wonderwaffe came out? Was that the very next one?
That was Black Ops 1.
1.
Yes.
I think it was 1.
I was a big Wonderwaffe guy.
Yes.
Which is the one? That's probably the one, but where you end up in the far back and then up on like the scaffolding,
up on the catwalk.
Yes, the catwalk. That was my all-time. Okay.
Yes, that is my favorite map of all time.
Okay.
Dude, I would buy the wall FMG 42 and pack-a-punch that.
Yep.
And that might have been Black Ops 2. But that's when I got, man, the FMG 42 is a grail. And one of my buddies actually, sorry, get on the topic of guns real quick. One of my buddies placed an offer on an FG 42.
Okay.
He offered the guy had 2 of them. Old dude.
Jeez.
He offered $250K.
Were these, if I remember correctly, the FG42 came in like 2 versions, right? There was the one with like the slanted grip, and then the one with the more like straight pistol grip. Which one was
it? Was
this?
the Para one, so it was like the slanted one. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I might have gotten those backwards, but
whatever.
Yeah, dude. And they're also, he was telling me about it because he did get to see him in person. He's like, dude, deceptively light and small.
Yeah.
Which surprised me a little bit because like in game, like, man, and it's also shooting. Mauser, 8mm Mauser, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
It's a big anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another gun, surprisingly small. Sorry. The SVD. The Dragunov.
Yep.
I expected that thing based on purely video games.
Yeah, just to
that
be
thing
gigantic.
to be long as heck.
Yeah.
And
I got to play with one of those when B&T brought them in. The
like they're
the sugar oh my gosh, not the Turkish ones. The PSL.
they were
PSLs.
Bulgarian something.
I don't know.
I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely no interest in a knockoff, and you guys might hear a little bit about that later with all of my firearms. That stays true.
I get lost in those because there's so many different countries that have produced them under different. Like there's like the Tiger one that I'm not sure what the hell that is. I get so confused.
Is the Tiger Chinese? The Norinco ones? Or
it sounds
the
like it would be
Chinese.
Yeah,
I thought the Tiger.
Yeah, that's probably what that is.
The SVDs are a very cool gun.
Hopefully, there's people just
especially
screaming in the
modernized.
comments.
I know.
Right now.
Yeah,
the
I might
modernized
so mad at us.
SVDs are crazy.
SVDS.
The Bandito Bill account.
Yeah,
he's got some crazy SVD builds. Dude.
Nice.
Yeah, I would really like one eventually. Pappas, a bit dead air. He's got 2 Tigers, and they're like gorgeous.
That's cool.
That is obviously I like the Russian stuff, but the Tiger would be. Oh man, I would snap one of those up if they weren't $20,000
exactly.
Now. But
before we leave Call of Duty, so I would agree with you. That was my favorite map. The other one that every time I talk about it, I feel like nobody remembers it. So I just want to see if you remember this one. I can't remember. I think it was either the game after this or maybe the same one. But there was a map where you were in like a castle, and there was like 4 different like quests that you could do. One of them was getting like a dog that would follow you around, like a ghost dog that would follow you around. And every single quest like resulted in a different like wonder weapon at the end. Do you remember this?
Yeah. And there was also like a big giant robot.
Yes.
If I'm remembering correctly.
I think so. Yeah.
So that was a DLC for Black Ops 2.
Okay.
I want to say. At the time, I was a kid, didn't have a job, didn't have the DLC.
Okay.
So I never played that one. I watched the Easter eggs, like watch like how to like
Yeah.
do all like the side quests and get the wonder weapons and stuff. But I never played that one.
It was the first one for me where it went from just survive as long as possible to like having a mission. Like, I don't know what it was, but there was something so fun. There was so many steps that you had to go through as each one of these things to get like, I mean, I'm probably remembering it incorrectly, but it was like 5, 6, 7 things that you got to do. And it's like all these tricky things or whatever. Like when the dog would follow you, I think you had to go like have it like eat zombies or something like that.
I think,
man, I miss that stuff.
This was the downfall of Call of Duty though. They overcomplicated it.
Yeah.
People were so happy to replay all the OG maps or, you know, even the ones. I think this is like where it started. It was good.
Yeah.
And then the downfall was like right after. But dude, it just like they tried to do too much shit. And like I think that's why people liked Call of Duty is it was a simple, fun shooter with good customizability, good guns. Like it was just a fun game. There was plenty of other games out at the time where you could just nerd out and get way too deep into it or I don't know, but maybe I'm unk status here and I'm just like dating myself because I'm like, oh, back in my day we just had
I think there's something to that.
But,
my take is that they definitely went from being like an arcade to more of a like we're gonna appease the sweats.
The
like
streamers.
The dudes that literally make like a full-time gig out of this, that's who we're going to cater to, and everyone else can just like, we don't care.
I think many developers have gone down this rabbit hole though, and it's really sad to see. I mean, like the game that I have the most hours in out of anything, aside from old school RuneScape, is Tarkov.
Ooh, I was hoping this was going to come up. Yeah.
Dude.
You were not that I knew many Tarkov players, but you were like the most legit Tarkov player that I ever known.
Yeah, I'm not going to say how many hours, but too many. Thousands and thousands of hours in that game. And man, it's just like seeing it go from the state it was when I started to years later. Yeah. I mean, I think the last time I played it was probably 6 months ago. And that was like the last time I installed it. I'm like, dude, it's just they BSG really tried to appease the streamers, and I know they'll stick with their like live streams and be like, oh, we're just trying to make it more realistic and like a hardcore shooter, blah blah blah. That's fine, but they took all the aspects that made it fun that like the player base loved, and they just threw it in the trash. And I was like, man, that's really sad to see because it was a great game. Yeah, it still is a great game. I'm sure there's some people that still enjoy it, but dude, it was also like plagued with the same issues. When I played it in alpha, it still had the same issues that it has right now. And I'm like, man, for $150 game, like, come on, where like eventually we got to fix the sound issues, you know? Game breaking issues where you're getting killed and you're like, wow, that guy must have levitated because there was no sound. Little things like that where it's like it's affecting your actual gameplay. Yeah. You know, and that's like a pretty unforgiving game where, you know, if you die, you like lose everything kind of thing, which isn't a big deal. Like it's still, man, but also the best highs and lows of any game. When you go into a labs raid and you come out juiced, you come out with a couch backpack and you're weighing 98 kgs and you're just like, man.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but it sounds hella cool.
Dude, go ahead, sorry. I bet at least one person watching will know.
Yeah. And they will.
Like,
100%.
Hell yeah. I played. It's probably been 6 or 7 years now. Yeah. And so same thing. I think I booted it up maybe a year or so ago. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
So you played pre-inertia.
Yes.
And then didn't play during. Yeah. I actually didn't hate inertia.
Yeah. I think it's good. Like you said, the more realism stuff.
Which is fine.
People not jumping around.
That was
but same thing. I bought Edge of Darkness. I played it for a handful of wipes. And then it seriously got to the point where I'm like, I am sinking so much time and effort in this. Yeah. And I had some pretty bad gear fare. So I would do some lab runs, but I was a rat. Dirty rat.
Dude, so the one thing
Explain to me what that is.
It's like you camp like an extract. You hide. So the Chads, like Cole here, walk by with all their juicy loot. And I
So you're just trying to pop out, surprise people, grab their loot.
I take my PP-19 with flesh damage rounds.
What the hell's a PB-19?
It's a Russian little submachine gun.
It's a 9
never heard of
millimeter
that before.
Vitiaz, so it looks like an AK, shoots 9 mil.
How have I never known about
You've
this
totally
before?
seen one before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and like in the game, you've got your armor zones, you got your helmets, your legs, your juicy legs. They're not protected. So it is very fun. It is incredibly fun game.
Yeah.
There are keybinds to check your chamber, to clear malfunctions.
Yeah.
It is seriously top tier. But like you said, they catered to streamers.
Yeah.
Landmark, crazy guy. I watched some of these guys. Now they have PKMs, they have RPDs. The gun customization, same thing.
Oh, super fun.
Next to none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
They have the best suppressors in the world in there. It's an old legacy one, but they've got some silencer cans in there.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very awesome.
Yes.
No, I totally agree. I will say the rat play style, dude, it's hard to play like that too. Because unfortunately, when you have dudes who don't have gear fear, I wouldn't, towards the end of my playtime, dude, I'm not going in without a thermal. And I have many clips where I'll watch someone in a bush just sit there. I'm like, dude, all right, man, thanks for your gear, I guess. But also Tarkov, they have some bad server issues, and it's a peeker's advantage game. So very common phrase that I would tell my friends when they were like just getting into it: swing or get swung. So I'm going to see you before you see me if you're camping, if I come around a corner. And I would always just use that to my advantage, because most people in Tarkov, dude, they're scared. At the end of the day,
I'm terrified.
It is a video game.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to play this like I'm dying in real life.
Okay.
So I will jump through a window and I will mag dump you with a 416. And I might lose, but odds are,
you're going to have fun
according
doing
to my 86% survival rate
Nice.
last wipe,
Nice.
most of the time I'm going to win.
You're gonna win.
Yeah, so I'll take that fight. Dude, labs was fun. Pre-inertial labs was insane. The bunny hopping, the movement you could do was incredible. It was so much fun.
I scratched the surface. I never got to the level that you're talking about.
It was
about.
great.
And you would tell me stories. You had a squad, so you were like, you guys were like locked in. Like you all had like ways that you would play. You knew exactly what the other was going to do before they would do it.
Yeah, that was the thing. I remember actually my first ever Tarkov raid. It's a pretty unforgiving game playing with people. So you'll see on Reddit and stuff, oh, you never want to play with more than like a duo. And I'm like, man, I started in a 5-man.
Yeah, like sucks to not have friends.
Yeah, I guess. And that being said, like I still played solo a ton because, everyone's got a life and stuff.
Sure.
But man, I have thousands of hours with that 5-man. And we would hop on a Saturday and just be degenerate and play for 12 hours, So we'd be locked in on customs, holding down stronghold. And, but yeah, playing with people like that was awesome too, because you also like never lose your gear. Because the odds of you wiping a 5-man are pretty slim.
Yeah, so they're hiding your shit.
Yeah, so they're ditching my stuff. So like behind the dumpster next to construction too, dude, there's a lot of spots where you can toss stuff over and you just straight up can't get it. Like it's outside of the map.
So you insure it your gear.
Yeah, so you insure your gear. Yeah, but yeah, so like my first ever Tarkov raid that was really funny. It was it's the most long-standing meme in one of our group chats that keeps coming back up. One of my best friends and I super into raccoons, and I made a raccoon meme based on what happened. But my buddy Dane and I were coming up over this like little ridgeline going into Old Gas. Oh man, I hate that I still remember the maps. So like, dude, and
it's part of our lives, man.
I know, man. And my other buddies, the 3 of them, came out the back of Stronghold, came around, and I popped up over the hill, and I immediately got team killed by my boy. And I ended up making a raccoon meme of me waving, and then that guy just blowing me away.
Nice.
But yeah, that was my intro to Tarkov. Was a team killing it, and I was like, oh man, so this is how unforgiving this game is.
When you introduced me to Tarkov, the thing that I found really, I guess, frustrating or whatever, as a newbie, is it's one of those games where when you get killed, you're not respawning. Like you're out.
No, and that was like a big thing. Like we would all stream our games in Discord.
Okay.
'Cause, one person might die. This is Fallujah Marine Corps type shit. Like the point man's probably gonna die, is what it is. But it sucks because now if you're dead, you're sitting for
just hanging
30 minutes,
40 minutes.
and just doing nothing, and which is kind of a bummer. So I would honestly use that time to like edit photos and stuff.
Yeah.
So if I die, I'm gonna pull up my laptop over here and do something, or we call it just phone time, and we're just going to mute our mic and watch reels or TikTok, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Tarkov's great game, and that definitely influenced one of my major gun purchases.
Okay.
So I'm very into 308 guns, especially in that game. So I would run an RSAS with a Delta Point Pro, an SDN6, or a BMD, depending on how froggy I'm feeling, and then like a D-ball or some sort of Viz laser.
Yeah.
Because like hip fire is major in that game. So finally found an RSAS.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember the day that this happened. It was a big deal.
It's a big deal, man. So I picked up an RSAS and had it kitted out. My buddy and I had it kitted out pretty much exactly like we ran them in Tarkov with the Delta Point Pro and stuff. Yeah, man, that thing's awesome.
Your side grip, right?
So I have a B25 Zenitco grip on it, which that grip's primarily made for the PKM, like the belt feds and stuff. Which, man, dude, sorry, tangent again. My buddy's got an awesome PKM, or an M80, the Chinese version of the PKM. And he told me to keep my arm out of the way. And this is kind of going to tie into the realism of Tarkov. He was like, dude, keep your arm out of the way when you're shooting this thing, because the brass, like, it spits out at Mach 10.
Like, it'll hurt.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I know a lot of belt
in
feds
typical
are like that.
Soviet style.
Yeah. But I didn't believe him too much, so I still held it somewhat like I would hold like a saw or something.
Yeah.
But it's also spitting it out at the left side. Mm-hmm. So, dude, I got like peppered a little bit. I'm like, man, that kind of stung. And then he showed me scars, like permanent scars of him shooting his M80 the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's brutal. But, dude, the PKM rips. Tarkov, it's not very good, but it's so fun to use. But, yeah, that grip was originally made for the PKM to get around the drum and stuff. But in Tarkov, man, it's really weird. When you go to aim the PKM, you like kind of have to shift it and you get underneath the drum. And that's exactly how you kind of got to hold it in real life. And in game, before I like actually got time behind the PKM, I was like, man, why do you hold it like a fucking idiot?
Yeah.
Now I know, dude.
Why are you teacupping the
PKM?
PKM?
Dude, my PMC just didn't want his arm all fucked up.
That's right.
He's already drinking warm milk that he found in the back of fucking ghost shit.
Yeah, the least that he could do is save his arm.
Yeah, dude, he doesn't need an infection from some old corrosive ammo.
They sold like some actual like merch, whatever Tarkov stuff. So I have an idea rig.
Yeah.
They sold off there. It took I think 3 or 4 months.
Oh wow.
'Cause I ordered it from Russia, and I think it was right at the kickoff of Ukraine. And same thing, dude. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna write that off, and then one day it shows up, and I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever bought. So it's an IKEA chest rig. So they have an IKEA in the game called Idea, which is with a D. So it's an IKEA, but then it says Idea. It's pretty cool.
Dude, that's pretty funny. One of those came up on Infinite somewhat recently, and our support team like reached out to me, and they were like, "Is this even a real thing?" And I was like, "Looks real to me." Like, allow it.
Actually, I've got one in my car right now.
Nice.
Another shameless plug here. Shout out Commando Store.
Yes.
Carson. He hooked me up with one of their Idea rigs, and then there was a collab that just got done, or they did a while ago with Kilo, and they remade one of the Sherpa like skins, one of the pieces of apparel that you could buy in game. That was another thing about Tarkov I really liked was the soft goods in game, like the chest rigs and stuff. A lot of it was stuff that I like a ton. So shout out LBT.
I learned pretty much everything that I know about kit from you.
Which is crazy because I learned pretty much everything I know about cloning from you.
Yeah,
all
there you go.
So
that's a good way to do it.
But yeah, man, the soft goods are fantastic in that game. There was like, that's how I got really into the LBT load bearing chest rig.
Okay, yep.
So recently, homie over there hooked me up with one of theirs in Desert Tiger.
Nice.
So that's one of my new like hyper fixations right now is
Sick.
Kitting up my new recce rig, which is going to be dubbed.
Actually, speaking of which, when I met you, I knew you were a gear nerd, a kit nerd.
Yeah.
Because this was at the height of Spiritus hype, like before COVID.
Yeah.
And you showed up to a shoot with like a multicam Alpine Mark IV.
Oh yeah, I still have that.
Yeah,
I
and
love that rig.
Jake showed
Jake's got
up
the
with an AOR1
Yeah.
Mark IV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the two of these guys together, and I was like, I probably had some bullshit multicam Mark IV sitting in my truck or whatever, and I was like,
You're like, I hate
think
this thing.
Yeah, I think I just got stunted
Dude,
on.
I just like kit that works.
Yeah.
I had a brief stint of playing airsoft as a kid, and I would always look back at that kit and think about like how my mags would fall out, and
Yeah.
it was junk because it was junk. Like I purchased crappy eBay stuff, or I went to like the Army Navy store in Medford, Oregon, and I picked up just garbage. So like finally when I was going on hikes with buddies and like I was shooting and I was going to classes, I was like, man, this is fun. I get to like buy kit. It looks cool, but it also like works, and like that's pretty cool. And that's actually one of my pet peeves is I see it on Instagram a lot, people doing like kit layouts. And I'm looking at something, I'm like, man, I made that mistake before. That shit's fallen off, or that's gonna rattle against you and just be hitting you.
You can tell they don't actually use their gear,
which is totally okay. I've got no beef with that. I think there's a lot of collectors out there that just enjoy the stuff, and that's totally cool.
Sure.
But what I would say is it looks cooler when it looks functional.
Yeah.
Bare minimum, if let's say a chest rig, a belt, plate gear, whatever, bro, put it on and do some jumping jacks in your room. In the living room and just see what falls off
in your mom's basement.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. And see what you need to change. Or, I mean, fuck, man. Physical fitness is kind of cool too. Go on a slight jog or a speed walk and just like see how your kit fares.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm no professional. I'm just a dude on Instagram that plays video games. But I do like when my stuff doesn't fall out or it just, rattles around everywhere. But
let's go back. I want to hear. So you were saying video games inspired you, and the movie Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
What was kind of your first own gun?
Oh man. So technically speaking, my first gun was a Cricket.
The hell is that?
A Chipmunk 22.
I don't even know what that is.
A little single shot, right?
Yeah, a single shot.
Okay.
I forget. I think.
Was this like something like your parents or grandparents bought for you? Okay.
Dude, I forget what age I was, but I was young, probably 9 at the time. Got a Chipmunk 22 before they rebranded to Cricket, or they sold and became Cricket. So that was my first. My first real firearm that I purchased was a Gen 2 Noveske with a Mur upper.
Nice.
That was the first one. 16-inch. It had the NSR rail, the key mod rail. Still have that gun.
Dude, that's literally basically the Johnny rifle setup.
Just way longer.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Gen 2 key mod rail. Is your key mod rail like the really early one that's got like the dots on the holes in it? Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that thing was sweet. Obviously, at that age, I had no idea how to set up a rifle properly, and so it's in a much better state now than it was back then.
Yeah.
I'm glad I held on to it because.
So growing up in Grants Pass, was that an intentional Noveske being your first gun?
Oh yeah.
So you knew of Noveske. It
sure.
wasn't just like a.
No, that was always like, for me growing up, that was. When you thought about an AR, that's all there was. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to buy Noveske, know? Yeah. So I remember, dude, I don't know, probably middle school, I would, draw my dream, rifle setup, and it would be, a Noveske. Oh, man, the Diplomat. God, man.
Yeah. The Diplomat has actually made it to Hollywood. It's been in a couple movies.
Oh, yeah.
Randomly.
I recently put a couple rounds through... my bosses, Mike Allen.
Yep.
God, dude. When it comes down to people that I really like being around people that know how to set up a gun for aesthetics and functionality, but big time aesthetics. And yeah, he's got his set up with a Schmidt short dot, got one of the Velos Ks on there. Dude, that thing is fucking sick. I'm pretty stoked on that gun right now. I would love to build one. This is
actually a really random story, but when Mike was at Noveske during that era, that was my probably favorite Noveske era. So I had just started doing patches at Tiny Crumb.
Yeah.
And we did one for John Noveske's rifle at one point. Everybody kind of knows the story of that rifle. God, what the hell was that name of that magazine? What was that magazine that got really big that came out? I keep wanting to say reverb, but that's from my music life. Recoil.
Yeah.
So when Recoil magazine came out, I think it was like issue 2 or something like that. They did a big write up of that rifle in it and everything. And so I built, that rifle. I've shot the actual Johnny. Super fun.
Yep.
But Mike always had that Diplomat that had like the bazooka green upper receiver on it. Have you seen that one?
I don't think so.
So he had one that was like a black lower that was a bazooka like Gen 1 upper. And then I can't remember if it was like a black rail on it, like a SWS rail or something. Anyway, basically in all of the marketing content that he would do, he had that gun with him. I ended up doing one of the illustrations and called it the Mikey. So
that's cool.
I literally had the Johnny and the Mikey that I had like as a set.
Yeah.
I don't. It's funny you bring that guy up because his taste in how to not just set up a rifle, but just like gear and everything. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but every once in a while you just come across people and you're like, that guy knows what's up.
Yeah, and I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by quite a few people that I feel like I look to for inspiration from like my builds and stuff. And like you're a big one. Obviously today,
thank you.
Before we started the podcast,
I'm hoping to be your next inspiration. So
dude, maybe you'll get me on CZs.
We'll see.
I want a CZ75.
We're not CZ anymore. I'm all about this DWX thing.
true.
I haven't stopped thinking about it since we were there.
I haven't stopped thinking about the Mark 23. So we're on the same page.
Fair enough.
So we're both we're on the same.
You're scratching his back. He's scratching mine.
But I mean, like I said, like before we started the podcast, you're helping me build a gun that you directly inspired me want to build. And man, this has been a build that 3.5 years in progress.
Yes.
And then even today, like another shout out JB, dude. I showed up with an AK trigger to put in my 416. My parts were not as assembled as I thought, and he's dialed me, and like by the end of tonight we'll probably have a running gun, and I'm like shaking at the bit to finally have my recce done. That's
with a trigger guard.
I know. Also, shout out, dude. Man, so I sold my MR 556, my MR 223 lower, and I should have taken the trigger guard off of it. Didn't even think about it. I'm sure at the time, 3 years ago, I was like, oh, dude, I'll just buy one before I build the gun, right? Totally forgot that existed. So this guy brought over a Colt lower, so I'm going to pull the trigger off that.
Sick.
So
just to give the 3 viewers some backstory on this. So the rifle we're talking about is the HK416 development group recce.
Yes.
And I hope that on our main channel, Infinite Armory, people have kind of seen the overall reveal of figuring out what that rifle was. This is one of those like funny things how sometimes stuff just works out for the best, because I had built that rifle a long time ago, with a OpSync 12th model. Not an AEM5, because I don't slum it that way. It was legit. The OpSync 12th model was one of my very first NFA purchases. Super, into the Mark 12. And that was back when everyone assumed that was the correct suppressor for that build. And even all the way back to then, you were super hardcore about that build. Like you were a huge fan.
Yeah.
And at the time, we were all chopping our HK416 barrels, which especially within the last 5 years, I would say cutting up a 14.5 416 barrel it's sad. Like you should pour one out for it. It's like you're not getting that back. So everybody was chopping them down to 13.2, and the one piece that we were having a hard time sourcing to get your build together was a barrel. And at the time, we were planning on chopping it. I mean, you were going to get an AEM5. Like, I mean, this was years that we had this plan. And then it wasn't until, I think it was fall of last year when I, kind of the whole story is on our YouTube channel, but uncovered all the info, started looking into it. We were able to together go to Allen Engineering and sit down with those guys, talk about it, get connected with actual DevGuru operators and guys that work at Crane and guys that work inside of DevGuru's, gunsmithing, armory, whatever you want to call it. Got the full story on it. So that was kind of cool too, that you were right there during the midst of this big reveal thing that we were kind of uncovering. And then it was super cool because you hadn't actually gotten a barrel and destroyed it.
If I had gotten a 14.5 and chopped it, to then a few months later find out your discovery, find out that it was wrong, I would have been gutted.
Yeah.
And I would have rebuilt it because I'm not going to have.
Of course,
a big part of the cloning is like the history behind it. Yeah. And if you're gonna do it, don't half-ass it. You know. But that's just for me personally. At the end of the day, dude, I don't care what you do with your build. I'm not pointing specifically at you, but
it's me.
The fictional, the people adjacent. Right there. Yeah. But it's like, dude,
the viewer,
dude, shoot what you want, kind of thing. But for me personally, dude, it's like having the piece of history like that's pretty cool.
There are a lot. Actually, it's surprised me a little bit. There are a lot of people that either held on to their 15.1 M4 Recce's or are still building them.
Yeah,
like there are still barrels for sale out there that are 15.1. And I see a lot of time dudes are like, whatever, I already own an AEM5 because I have a Mark 12 or something and I want to do the recce. So like, and it's like, you know what, man, go for it. Like nobody cares. Like have fun. It shoots smooth. Like it's still a good gun.
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to let you down, but
for you specifically, I know this has been like a grail project where it's like go correct or go home.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is, man, I built my Mark 13 Mod 5 in about 40 days because I was like impulse buying all the parts.
Mod 4.5, let's call it.
Okay, I have the correct. Okay,
yeah.
He says this. Okay, and this is, I know I just talked about how do it right or go home kind of thing. Currently on the gun, I have a proof research barrel that is profiled for my Mark 11 suppressor, but it's about 2 inches shorter.
It's a stubby, or as some
a salter.
Yeah, or some girls would say it's average length.
I think it's bigger than average.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yes. But I do have the Lilja barrel, as well. So I can go 100% correct. But man, currently I've just really enjoyed shooting it. Couple inches shorter. The proof barrel is like awesome. But the downside is when I look at it, I'm not like, it doesn't scratch the same itch as when I see like reference photos. And I see it with the Lilja barrel full length. I'm like, man, that looks killer. Also, it doesn't fit in my deployment case with the suppressor on with the short barrel because the case is notched for the latch system on the Mark 11. So that's a bummer. But yeah, I think
we haven't talked about this yet. But did you ever get a follow up on the Tab Gear cover?
Yeah, 100%. So he hit me up and he said that he was actually having trouble finding people to sign up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he said it was like an open thing. So I sent it to Kyle down in Vegas. I'll probably try to buy a couple. I sent to my other buddy that has 2 like SR Mark 11s.
Sick.
But yeah, I want to get some more people on that because also it'll make it cheaper for me.
Yeah.
If more people buy in. But yeah, I'm going to try to get a couple, keep one brand new.
Cool.
And then beat on one.
Yeah, I think quite a few of them that I've seen have been painted too. So it'd be cool if you threw some rattle can on it.
And I think everybody that has the fucking Griffin can should go out and buy one of those covers to hide their shame.
Yeah, because
that is disgusting.
Yeah.
At bare minimum, dude, buy one of Tier 1's Mark 11 builds, because at least, dude, they like machined in like the holes so it almost looks like a spot weld. Way better. I'm not trying to talk shit.
Have you seen these, the like clone Mark 11 suppressors?
The is it Tier 1? That's
yeah.
Yes, I've seen those for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, those did the Elva cans, right? The SIG ones, and these are M110s. I'm there. I'm close.
Okay, yeah.
I'm usually not super in for reps of stuff that you can buy, but the hard part is, dude, there's such a financial barrier to get a Mark 11 and an M110 can nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I have several friends. I got one good friend down in Vegas that built he built his Mark 13 and just couldn't find a can for sub like $9,000. Jeez. And for him, it's just, everyone's at a different place in life, and it just wasn't viable for him to spend that much money on one suppressor. And dude, that Tier 1 can is like perfect. It's also like a bit lighter and it sounds awesome. Like I am actually all for that can. I also want to pick one up as just like a spare to run on my Mark 13 because I do have some like pretty janky loads that my buddy got from his schoolhouse and I want to run those, but I also don't want to just like obliterate my Knights can. But yeah, and then same thing, Tier 1's coming out with they're working on right now the the Scar SD can, the AAC Scar SD can,
cool.
which I am like also extremely excited for. Love old AAC cans. Obviously, you mentioned earlier, I'm a huge Scar guy. Love the Scar. And
I'm really curious to see how this comes out. So again, to provide everybody context, we're talking about the Mark 17, which we will,
I'm sure,
touch on. But the original Mark 17 and Mark 17 556 conversion kit and Mark 16 all shipped with 18 tooth AAC cans. And what most people don't know is that the 18 tooth mount was not just a larger, like less teeth mount than the 51T. It was actually a totally different system.
Yeah.
So it was held on by, I don't even know what you'd call it, but essentially like a detent clip, where the 51T actually has like, you know, the gate or whatever, or I don't know what you call it, the latch essentially that like locks into the teeth. The 18T was almost like a wire pin that was bent a little bit, and you'd throw it on. And if I remember correctly, there were some issues with it, like actually backing off like during firing. And so that's always been one of the barriers to recreating the 18 tooth stuff, is that they technically were, I guess, quote unquote, defective, if you want to say it that way.
Yeah.
But it's the weirdest thing in the clone community that the Scar is by far one of the easiest builds to clone. At least it was, because before FN USA started producing the 17, all the 17s were coming from Belgium. So you'd get this gorgeous, you know, beautiful anodized, like, I mean, from 5 feet away, it looks like a Mark 17. Yeah. It's just, it's almost perfect. And then the lowers started to become available, so you could swap them out. So you didn't have the little like semi-auto pin or whatever in there, and you had the correct markings on the safety selector, blah, blah, blah. But for how easy it is to clone that gun, cloning the suppressed version of it has been like the unicorn in the cloning community forever, because the only options were the 18T AC version, which was non-existent, never sold to civilians. There's like one or two out there. The FN can, which is probably by far the most used and most prominent. And I would love to have you do some research on this, but I don't know what the hell is the problem with FN getting that can. This is a little bit of a rant, but it's crazy because all this drama that recently happened with B&T, right? One of the things that clearly came out was that B&T USA was like talking to Carl and at some point was like, man, we got to start making B&T suppressors here in the States, because the suppressor market here is just a freaking gigantic, like it's a gold mine essentially. And it's only gotten better. I mean, like we went from paper forums to e-forums. Everybody started picking up on it. Now, even in the days of like free tax stamps or whatever, you would think that somebody out there would be like, we could just cash in. It's like, it's literally like just manufacturing gold. If FN were to be like, we're going to have FN USA make the Scar can, I don't know what the fuck their problem is, to be honest. It's the weirdest thing in the world. There's so many people out there that want that can. And then the third option, of course, is the Mark 20 can. And that one, our buddy Eric, he sourced like 6 of them back in the day with the correct like military markings, one of them which I have. And then Surefire actually did, like, when the Mark 20 first came out, which you know, super dumb. FN USA kind of screwed up the anodizing on those or whatever, but whatever. At least it was close. Surefire did like a re-release of the Mark 20 can. They only did like 2 batches of them or whatever. And then as far as I know, they like destroyed the tooling. So they can't even like make them anymore.
I'm working on getting one of the Surefire cans.
Nice.
But yeah, would love one of those. But yeah, the AEC cans, sick. But yeah, I think the Surefire is my favorite. Dude, I'm a sucker for the long Surefire cans. It was like the SRD 762.
Surefire?
Yeah, there was another Surefire, a long 30 cal one that I think you used on a build, or you had one.
Oh, so there is the gosh, I got to think about the models here.
Yeah.
So there's the FH or FA 762K.
That's not the K.
Well, no, it's weird. It's called the K,
Yes.
but it's the long version of
Gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, because they had this was back when Surefire was doing those weird, I forget what they called them, but like they were the reflex mounts.
Okay. Yeah.
So Surefire's catalog back in the day when you had like the FA 556 and all this stuff, they had the God, it's so annoying that I can't. This is how old I am. My brain just stops working.
It's the drink.
No, it's literally just being old. That's what it is. So everything was a reflex mount at the time. They had these long ass flash hiders, and then things would come back over. I want to say like MR. I can't remember. Anyway, so the K versions were the end mount versions of them, where you would literally just have what is standard today, a flash hider on the end, and it would mount on the end, and that was the K version. So yeah, I had an old collar FA 762K and a new collar FA 762K. The old collar I sold, the new one is going on my Mark 14 build. That was for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really stoked to hear that you actually had a build for that can too.
Yes.
Because I love that can. But anyways, yeah, I think the Surefire is probably my favorite. But I have on my 13-inch 17, I've got the 18T.
Yes.
Came from JB over there. That was a funny
And you don't have the reproduction 18T. You have the OG, which is like the original finish.
Yeah.
It looks freaking gorgeous.
Dude, that thing looks awesome. But yeah, there was... When I got my Scar, got it from one of my other buddies, Zach, Manitree. If you like photography and good shooting, dude, that's the guy. But got my Scar from him, and at the time, I was like, planning out the build and stuff. It had a 51T on there originally, which is listed on Infinite Armory right now. So if you're doing a Scar build, can't find an 18T.
If you need a 51T,
grab that.
You know where to find it.
Yeah. Invite code Recce, by the way. So, but yeah, so I remember... Man, was that in... No, it was in St. George still.
I think so.
South, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was out your other place. And
remember, I lost the 18T.
I know, that's what
that's right.
Yes, because you were like, dude, I swear, I have the Surefire muzzle device you need somewhere.
Yeah.
And, dude, it was probably a year later or something. You texted me a video of you opening a Surefire, like a suppressor box, and just pulling out the 18T. And yeah, man, that's like one of my favorite little pieces on any of my guns. I had
two of these things. I sold one of them, and it was like one of those stupid things where I'm like, I know that I did not sell my last one
for this specific instance.
Totally. And I wanted to get it to him so bad because I knew it would look so dope on his, because I was running the Surefire can on mine, so I'm like, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, seriously, like 2 years worth of being like, dude, I know I have it and I know I didn't sell it.
Don't buy one.
Yeah,
I got you.
You couldn't even find one. They're hella hard to find.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating because, back to like the replica thing, this is one of the things that happened in the market. Somebody dumped a bunch on the market that were like rewelds.
Mm-hmm.
So they found some old ones that had been cut up or dermoed or something, rewelded them back together, and then refinished them. So you could kind of tell which ones they were based on like the finish. But anyway, randomly, I think when we were moving to this place, I was going through and doing inventory of like all my suppressor boxes, and I opened, I think, the box for the Surefire can, and there it was, just sitting in there. And I was like, of course, that's where I would put it. I took it off to put the can on, and there it was. And that was a glorious day finding that. Dude, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's the 13-inch Scar is probably, man, one of probably 4 guns that I think sounds awesome unsuppressed.
It does.
God, dude, that thing sounds so good. That being said, I'm still gonna pick up one of Kieran's AC cans as soon as the nanosecond I can.
I will actually go on a tangent with the Scar and say that, in my personal opinion, I think the unsuppressed Mark 17 is more clone correct than the suppressed one.
Way more reference photos.
Yeah, way more reference photos of them running it unsuppressed for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. I'd love to talk to a few SEALs from those teams during the days and find out why. But man, I don't know what it is. It's like you find photos of NSW in Afghanistan and it's like unsuppressed Mark 17.
One thing I will say though is all of the muzzle devices they have carbon. It looks like they were shot suppressed
Yeah,
at some point.
that's fair.
And mine is cherry, so I need to get some carbon on that thing.
There you go.
So even if I'm just buying the can to get some carbon on there, it'll also just look awesome. And having like every piece to the build, you know, like changing, you do it a lot too. Changing around your builds is fun.
Yeah.
You know, like it feels like an entirely new thing. And adding a suppressor, especially one as heavy as the Scar SD, I imagine is. I mean, the 416 SD, the M4000, this big, super heavy great
cans.
can.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
But I imagine Scar SD is going to be also pretty heavy, so it'll feel like an entirely different gun too. But
Holden, what is your experience with the Scar? Have you shot it much?
I think I've shot them once or twice. I think they are very good looking, but I've never gotten enough time to take it to distance or to really run it through its
fair.
paces.
Yeah.
So
we could change that.
we should change that.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
pop my cherry on it.
Do you sell a lot of them still?
Not so. FN's been going through some weird stuff.
Yeah, because they're changing
internally.
it. Yeah.
So they fired like their entire sales team.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
So like literally everybody.
Okay.
It's like I had like a one of their dumb little reflex pistols or whatever, and like the serial number was screwed up.
Yeah.
And I like contact them. I'm like, hey, this is all screwed up. Like, you guys got to change your bound
Yeah.
book, make sure it's all good, right? Because it was different pistol. The box is marked different serial number. And the guy's like, yep, I'll get right on it. And then months go by. Finally, I'm emailing him, hey, dude, what the hell's going on? I don't have any pricing, nothing, And I find out from like a third party that they had just wiped out their crew. So I think we've gotten 2 of the new generations. Which
Yeah,
I don't know
so
how to
With like the reciprocating, non-reciprocating charging handle,
But
kind
also
of thing.
the-
No, I'm saying like the new.
Oh, the
Yeah,
new
the one
ones
with
are
the
totally
MRGG.
new. Yeah, yeah.
With the hydraulic
Yes.
buffer. Yeah, that's
Okay.
sick.
Do
Dude,
you do like the new generation? Do you like it more than the old
absolutely
generation?
not, because it's
Okay.
not clone correct. There's no
Well,
there's no
alright,
lore
there
to
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
What I do like though
Not yet.
is FN released this new bolt carrier setup with a buffer system that kind of like reduces the harmonics issue that people used to bitch about on Reddit because they would buy garbage optics and they'd break on the Scar.
Yeah.
Dude, here's the thing, man. Okay, sorry, we're not doing this. Anyways,
Well, we can talk about Reddit. We do it
yeah,
every
we-
episode.
Okay, good.
This is
But
one
dude,
of our themes.
God, they are such bitches
Yeah,
about
yeah,
everything, dude. Yeah, man. It broke your NC Star 1 to 4 with the
Yes.
built-in green laser. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's doing you a service by breaking your bullshit NC Star.
What FN did do though was they made the new bolt system backwards compatible.
Right, I have heard,
Oh,
that.
and that's awesome.
You can drop it in.
Yeah, and I think nowadays a lot of companies are very into making everything proprietary, so you do have to rebuy stuff. I mean, fuck, man, this is not new for any industry. GTA, for example, I mean, GTA 6 is coming out soon if it doesn't get delayed again and again. But like, I'm not going to have that on PC for a year after
Yes,
console
after
release,
the release.
because they hope that I'm going to buy it twice. I'm not, but yeah, and I think FN
They're really going to release that on console before they release
they
it on
always
PC?
do. Yeah,
I
every
did not know
Grand
that.
Theft Autos. Yeah,
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5, I think, was either 9 months or a year
Yeah.
after the initial
Holy shit.
release.
I had no idea.
yeah.
Yep.
But I think FN making such if you have a Scar,
Yeah.
it would make sense to buy the new bolt system, and them allowing that, designing that to be backwards compatible
cool.
is cool. I like that. I like seeing that
quality
from a
of life
company.
kind of
Yeah, it
upgrade.
is, and it's for the end user. It's for like the consumer, So I think that's pretty cool. I would
Yeah,
totally
there's no benefit
own,
to them for doing
no,
that.
it's less,
Yeah.
if anything. But I would love to get one of their new Mark 20s, Scar 20s, because I did hear.
What's
don't have
different about those?
nothing other than it comes with the new bolt system.
Okay.
But I would like to get one just because I did hear. I don't have a ton of time behind a Mark 20, but I have heard from one of my good friends that shoots his a bunch that it's a very odd recoil impulse.
Yeah, I've actually heard that it's a little
Yeah.
bit harsher than the Mark 17.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird.
Which I'm sure, dude, at the end of the day, it's a heavy 308 gun, so
Sure.
it's not going to be bad. But if I'm going to buy a new Scar 20 and I'm not going to be building it as like a clone gun, I might as well get the new one that has the new bolt
Absolutely.
system already, and they look roughly the same. But yeah, I would love to get one of those just to have. I would like every series of 308 Scar. I want the 13-inch. I want a 16-inch 17. I would love a 20. Also, you mentioned earlier the 5.56 conversion 17. I would also love one of those.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, dude, they're
Almost,
so sick.
yeah, I can clue you in on that. So almost every single military photo that you see of what you think is a SCAR 16 is not. It's a Mark 17 with a 5.56 conversion kit on it.
Interesting. Yeah, I had
Yeah,
no
Rangers,
idea about
as
that.
far as I know, 75th is still running them to this day.
Wow.
If they're not, they were up until very recently.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you can tell, the way that you can spot it is the ejection port essentially looks like a Mark 17 ejection port. So it's much longer than the 5.56 version. And then also the trigger guard, because the lower has to fit the Mark 17 sized one or whatever, the trigger guard essentially has like plastic fill in it. So it like to set the geometry back or whatever. So you see like a normal trigger guard cut out, and then you see like a big chunk of plastic in front of it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you know what you're looking for, the Mark 16 pretty much was just dumped right away. Like they didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it was because it didn't have any benefit over the M4. So like, even though that
fair.
was the whole point of the program, the military just didn't buy it.
How many teams are using the 15P?
I don't know of any.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that made it into the military.
That
at
being
all.
said, though,
That's the only Belgian one right now, I think, right?
It's and that's the 300 blackout, little
make
shorty
one
one.
of 5.56.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
7.5 inch.
dude, that being said, that thing's
The
fun.
Choppa.
It's awesome.
The ARP.
Dude, my buddy Tyler down in Vegas, he's got one with one of our Velos cans on there. And dude, that thing feels so smooth.
I'd love to
I
shoot
would
it.
love to get one of
Is
those.
his
annoying?
5.56 or
Yeah, he hit
300?
the 5.56
both,
one.
yeah.
I would like to get, I'd probably get a 300 blackout one and then buy a 5.56 barrel just on the side. Because I would, like, that's the nice part about the SCAR too. I mean, it's modular. Like being able to swap barrels. One of my buddies just sent me a toolkit, a SCAR toolkit from their armory, and it came with a torque wrench. We were talking about this earlier. Dude, I'm so stoked on this.
Yeah.
It came with a T-handle torque wrench that's permanently set to 62
Just for the barrel.
foot-pound.
Just for the barrel.
Only for the barrel.
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
like, bro, this is rad.
It's one of the honestly the best things about cloning is like when the military orders shit, they do it so right.
yeah.
Like it's like
Everything is thought out.
the tool set, the case, the bag or whatever that's perfectly designed to fit in the hard case.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, yeah, when you get it, Mark 13 is the same way. Like the Mod 5,
my deployment kit looks
totally.
awesome.
Those whole
Yes.
kits are so cool.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
totally agree. But
Yeah, the 15P is cool, but it's
Yeah.
hard because like guys will, because they've got like the 1913 on the back, guys will put like the little teeny like skeleton stocks,
oh,
and
that's
they are disgusting.
yeah, that's gay, man. That's,
Oh yeah, that's actually gay.
Yeah, that's cringe.
That's gay.
Yeah, that's
I
cringing gay.
I actually want to get both your opinions on this. So you are fairly well known for what turns out to be a spicy take, although I didn't know that it would be, that you state quite often that the SCAR is the best battle rifle
the SCAR,
ever built. Is that how you would say it?
that's probably my engagement farming take.
Okay.
I will say-
his Lucas Botkin approach to
Dude.
Yeah. But here's my question. So
Yeah.
you're a huge fan.
Yeah.
You believe it to be a great battle rifle. I for totally different reasons, probably, well, actually some overlapping reasons, but for maybe different reasons, also have a giant love for it. I mean, my Mark 17 is one of my favorite builds that I've ever done, primarily for differentiation. Like it's really nice that it's
Yeah.
something that's just not an
100%.
AR. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But I don't think they sold very well. Like, and we see people bitching about them online all the time, and I don't understand it.
Well-
like I want to know why they don't sell and why people hate them.
Well, dude, they were when they came out, they were expensive, and they still kind of are expensive.
But so are Knights rifles, and people don't.
100%. But a lot of people don't own Knights rifles.
Yeah.
So, like, you're talking about the guy that has a DPMS AR-10, and he thinks this is the coolest shit ever. And then he read on Reddit or watched a GunTuber's YouTube video about how it broke his optic or it sucked, and then it was expensive. If you look me in the eyes and tell me the SCAR isn't at least cool from your time playing video games or whatever, I will call you a liar and never speak to you again. Because like now you're just being a dick for no reason. Dude, it's a cool gun. I will say, in my civilian opinion, the Mark 17 is the best modern battle rifle ever built. I say that because, I mean, what is a battle rifle realistically? And I've had someone tell me, "Oh, you would take a Mark 17 over an M110." I'm like, "Well, God, here's a little autism."
Because you couldn't consider,
that's not a battle rifle.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a semi-auto sniper's SAS, if you will. And like, that's not the same, dude. And yeah, I would take a 13-inch 308 over 90-inch 308.
Okay, compare apples to apples though. Would you take a 13-inch Scar over the 14.5-inch SR25 battle rifle?
Oh man, that's hard because I would want both.
Okay,
like that's the thing, that now when we're comparing real battle rifles against each other, I think the benefits. Let's weigh everything out here. So the benefits of the Scar over the SR battle rifle, obviously cost. I can't afford currently an SR25 battle rifle because like the going rate's what, $25,000.
Yes, although let's compare it to like the original retail of it. So let's say that they were generally around probably similar pricing.
Dude, that's hard because I mean the Scar is lighter.
That's what I was going to say, man. The Scar is like half the weight.
The Scar is way lighter. It's modular. Like I can swap to a 16-inch barrel with 4 torque screws. Folding stock is, maybe that's like, I'm being nitpicky. I love a good folding stock. Being able to toss that in a smaller overpass bag is pretty nice.
nice little shout out.
That, yes.
Dude, that's awesome. So yeah, dude, I would still... God, it's hard because I love Knight's armament. But I would still probably take a Mark 17. Realistically, the one I would compare it to most would be the 417.
Yeah.
And here's where maybe we would disagree, but I think the Scar is a better gun. As someone that owns a 13-inch Scar and a 417 Assaulter, notice my bolt does not say MR. Anyways, dude, that's very, like, it's way lighter. It feels more accurate. Maybe it's just the shooter. Maybe it's my finger bias, and subconsciously I'm shooting a little less accurate with the 417.
Yeah.
But dude, it feels better. The recoil impulse feels better. I will say, when we get into the longer ones, the 16-inch Scar next to your 14.5 417.
We should actually go do that test.
We should
at some point because we both actually thought that the 14.5-inch 417 was a smoother shooter than the 100%. Small one. And then when I went out and did a bunch of filming for the video, I shot your Shorty 417 and kind of did a lot of like mag dumps with it and stuff. And I was blown away. Like, I'm not kidding, man. It is very few times in my life where I have walked away and been like, that was one of the most fun shooting experiences I've ever had. And there was something about that Shorty 417. Yeah. It actually had some issues with it, with the bolt in it. And so once I swapped it out for a bolt that didn't have issues, all of a sudden it was like perfectly tuned. And I don't know what the hell, man, but I walked away from that being like, but I will say, I still think that the 13-inch Scar is more fun to shoot because it's not an AR. And I know that people are going to roast me for that, saying that the 417 is an AR, but it's like...
But it is. It's an AR-10
It's
platform.
AR ergos. It's AR...
dude,
manual of arms is identical.
And I think we will disagree on this because I think from shooting that video and then the time that we went out and shot the M110, the Scar, and the 417, both of them, the 14.5 felt way smoother to me. I love your 14.5 build.
Did I send you a photo of my bruises from it?
You did. Yes, you did.
I have the stock on the 14.5 has like, have you seen those HK stocks that have those like ridges on the back?
Yes,
it looks like ruffles or whatever. I literally had, and I know how to shoot it. I was keeping it in my shoulder. I literally had like bruise ridges in my shoulder for a week, week afterwards. It was pretty nuts.
Man, dude, I love how that 14.5 feels. And I think a part of it that we need to consider is when you were mag dumping it and like having a good time with it, you had the original B&T can on there, right?
Yes.
that might make a difference.
It probably does.
Yeah.
Heavy. I also am shooting it with the original HK417 stock on it, which has got that like mushy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what you call it, but it's like skeletonized or whatever in the back.
The rubber.
Yeah.
I think it's still
flexes.
called the
Like a recoil
E1 stock.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the sniper stock does not have that.
No.
It's literally just a solid thing.
But man, yeah, I love the 14.5, but I do feel like the 17. It feels mechanical and it feels softer, to be honest. But again, maybe I'm being biased here. So, and I know there's a lot of end users that are going to look at me and be like, you're a fucking idiot, dude. That's a terrible take.
You said it. It's your civilian opinion.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, yeah, and that's all I got, that's all I can compare it to. But like you said too, it's nice shooting as a collector. It's nice shooting a gun that isn't an AR platform.
Yeah.
I got plenty of those, man.
Right.
Excluding the recce, I'm good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm all set on.
No, I'm right there with you.
ARs.
That's where it gets hard for me. Holden, I'm curious, as a non-clone nerd, if you were going to pick up a 7.62 NATO /308, let's call it like 11 to 16 inch gun today, what would you be going for? What gets you?
Gets me going.
Yeah.
Gets my motor running. Well, it's funny because I'm thinking about that, right? Like, we're talking about the battle rifles. So
Yes.
to me, my argument, or like the way I've heard the argument, is like M14, G3s.
Yep.
But fouls, right?
Yeah.
Yes, foul. Because I see people talk about those, but then you guys immediately go to 417, SR25, like the modern things. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't even think about those.
I would
and
still go to the other stuff
To
too.
be clear, this is also why I prefaced the best modern battle
Yeah,
rifle.
you're right.
Because
Okay,
I think
fair
if
enough.
you're going to say the best battle rifle in the world, if you say anything other than the FAL, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because that is the best. And this
Yeah.
is
What is
why
it like the arm of the free
the
roll?
right
right
arm,
arm.
Right arm of the free roll.
Okay,
Yeah.
and now to be clear, what is the Mark 17? It's a modernized FAL, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
The
literally from the same
my
company.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. And one of my
That is funny. I never even made that connection.
yeah.
Oh,
one
dude,
of-
totally.
Yeah,
It's literally like they were like,
yeah.
how can we upgrade our most famous?
That is
100%.
so. I've literally never even thought
to the
about that.
point of the mags. So one of my best friends got me a 30 round straight FAL mag.
Very fun.
And I filed it down, notched it for a mag catch, and it fits in my 13-inch scar.
Dang,
They
that is so
are
funny.
Yeah, because it's just the heritage of it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the other thing about the SCAR too. When we're going back to people that have negative opinions of it, if you were going to trust one company in the world to nail modernizing the battle rifle,
It would.
who would you trust?
Yeah.
And
that's-
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say.
I still want to hear.
Yeah,
No,
to
it's
lead
like
back into-
yeah, in terms of yes, obviously the modern distinction's different. I think modern, I would probably go with the SCAR.
Okay. Even over
don't-
like some sort of AR-10 ish.
Yeah, I don't have a
thing.
ton. I mean, I genuinely feel like a lot of AR-10s are so finicky.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
have a lot of experience with like guys coming in and they've put an arrow together or they put some bullshit,
Yep.
amount of parts together and they can just never run.
Never run.
So I tell people a factory AR-10 is what you should be getting if you're going to go that route.
Yeah.
So obviously, I like the Neveskis. I like some of these other ones. The SR25 cut stuff's fun, but I feel drawn to a G3.
Okay.
Specifically an AK-4D with the spur,
Sick.
handguards, things like that. So
Is
that's
that the one with like the Swedish military?
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, you're right. It's not the same barrel length as what you said. It's
Yeah.
going to be longer, but I think that is such a fun rifle.
Yeah.
That has such a cool pedigree.
Do you have time behind them?
No.
Okay.
No, I've shot some.
Okay.
One of my next machine guns, I do want to be an AK-4D, Battlefield
Yeah.
6.
Sick.
Love the AK-4D.
The one reason why I've never given the G3 or the variants, and this is probably the most ridiculous take in the world, so everybody can just absolutely burn me for it, but there's something about roller delayed that doesn't do it for me on large calibers.
Yeah.
It feels. Here's what it is. I really despise simple blowback. Like when I'm looking at historical guns, and people bust them out, and it's like, how does this operate? And it's like simple blowback. Even the modern, like when Noveski did their pistol caliber carbine shit, and it was simple blowback, and I'm like, fucking CMMG is doing like rotating bolt, like all this interesting stuff or whatever. I don't know. There's something like really basic about it, and again, probably a terrible take. I'm not an engineer by trade, at least not a hardware engineer, but roller delayed blowback seems so damn close to like to simple blowback compared to like gas operated locking bolt. I don't know why.
Just blowback with that.
Yeah, and this is such a dumb opinion because it's not like I have a bunch of time behind it, so I can't claim that like, oh yeah, it's way harsher shooting. But just from a nerd perspective, it just doesn't seem as interesting to me.
Yeah. No, I think, again, it more comes from vibes. It more comes from like what they, did in the world. But it's fun. Like you can see there's like some bullseye competitions. Yeah. You guys ever seen them shooting the G3s?
No.
Yeah.
Dude, they are ripping these things.
Really?
Yeah.
So iron sights at, however many hundred yards.
Yeah.
And, they're the way that they're like reloading, they're like taking their firing hand off. And like it's crazy seeing like high level users use a G3. But again, compared to a SCAR, I'm going to take the SCAR. But
I think
for like when you say you would take the SCAR purely for like practical purposes,
yes, in a practicality sense, I think the SCAR is the lightest weight, the most accurate, everything about that, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't have a ton of time on battle rifles. My take is
that I have a hard time believing that most people who are negative on SCARs have ever held one.
No,
because the lightweightness, it's not something that we like talk about enough. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Like it is absolutely absurd when you and I pick up our Mark 17s and then we pick up our ARs and our freaking assaulter ARs feel heavier.
Yeah.
And then you would be like, "Oh, well, of course, it's easy to make a gun lightweight. You just fucking make everything light and then it just sucks to shoot." And it's like, but no, it's actually a dream to shoot. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to do a little callback to Tarkov here. So there's a thing called arm stam.
Okay.
So arm stamina. So as you're holding a gun, if you're ADS for too long, eventually you'll start.
It is wild that they like developed this into the
literally your guns have ergonomics.
Yes. So the weight of the gun, the ergonomics, it all makes a difference. Yeah. And I used to kind of bitch and complain if I was holding an angle. I'm like, oh, dude, my fucking idiot PMC can't hold up this RSAS for 5 straight minutes.
Until you got an RSAS.
Yeah, and then my buddy and I were out shooting. We were like I wanted him to take some photos. I was taking photos of him shooting the RSAS. And I was like, dude, hold that angle. And I was like adjusting a setting or something. And he's like, fuck, man.
Take the photo.
And he was one of the guys that like I have thousands of hours in this game with. And he was like, man, this thing fucking sucks, dude. This is heavy. And same thing, like I got behind it. I'm like, after a while, like we were trying to hit 400 with the Delta Point, and we scored some hits and stuff. Super fun. But like, man, after a while, you're like, man, this thing gets heavy. And that's where, like, again, that's a SAS and not a battle rifle. But I'm like, man, the SCAR is pretty fucking awesome, man, because I can hold that up all day.
Yeah.
I will say, when you talk about older battle rifles, there's no wrong answer. They're all pretty cool from a collector's and like a vibes aesthetic standpoint.
Even the M14?
Even the M14. Yes. The M14 is sweet. It's a cool gun. And I was talking to my buddy Cole about it the other day. Not me. An actual other person. Yes.
Yeah. The mirror.
Yeah.
There's an entire alphabet of Cole.
There is.
Out there.
Cole.wd. Yeah. Awesome dude. Great firearm collection. Just great dude all around.
What I want to know is who the hell had Cole.w?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
man.
We got to find that guy.
Yeah, we got to find that dude. Yeah. But dude, so he's got an M14 and he likes that thing. And I was talking to him and I would love to build, everyone builds the Gordy.
Yeah.
I would love to build Randy's gun. I think that would be pretty sweet.
I bring him up way too much, but did you see Ian's video on that?
No.
Ian McCullum of Forgotten Weapons has like a 1-to-1 clone. All that he got Augie to send him all the lasers and stuff that were actually used on it. So it's like I can't even remember what it's called, but it's this giant square laser thing that hangs off the end of it and stuff. It is freaking crazy. But
dude,
like a 1-to-1 full on. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, that's That would be a great build.
Yeah.
And like you said, the G3 is sick. I gotta say so I recently shot an HK91 a bunch, and that was a don't meet your hero kind of gun. I was not stoked, dude. So we took it out, machine gun. I ran about 5 mags through it, and I was like, dude, this gun. At the end of it, I didn't even finish the mag. I'm like, dude, this gun's not fun to shoot. And it gets to a point where you're like, it's got to at least be enjoyable.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying it like wasn't accurate, but the recoil impulse was just like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing too.
Which rifle is this?
HK91.
So that's 308?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it had a
so literally like the G3 essentially.
It's just, it's the
and
different nomenclature,
collapsing stock and stuff. And I was a bit bummed on that because we're talking old guns or old battle rifles, older. God, dude, the G3, close second. Obviously, I'm an FAL guy. I would love a wood stock, wood furniture FAL would just be a dream gun.
Yeah, or teaser my.
DSA.
Yeah, what do they call it? The OSW. My OSW when I finally get it.
So that's another Tarkov gun too. One of my buddies calls. So he ran the DSA all the time, and he would call it the M80 machine because he would run the X Products like 50 round mags.
Oh my gosh,
with just full of M80.
Does X Products really make a FAL compatible drum?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They make an M14 one too.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. Who was it that made the M107 drum mag? Was that also X Products?
Foztech.
Okay, and it was also
talking about a 50 cal.
Surprisingly,
M107.
We have sold probably 15 of those. They're 20. I think they're 20 round.
Yeah.
Skeletonized drum mags.
They're also like
from Foztech.
Hella expensive.
They're for like $1,800.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, the very first time that I walked into your shop, you guys had an M107 A1. That's the short barrel, right?
I think the A1
it comes in a
different barrel lengths.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, you guys had the short barrel M107 with the Barrett can on it. This is like my dream setup. Like I was like, I'm in the right place.
Dude.
we've the big 50s we've dwindled. We only have like the KDXs now. We used to have our M2. We had to transfer.
Yeah, why aren't you guys? Why do you not sell the Barretts anymore?
They have sat for a while. I don't know what it is. I honestly I think they just started pushing more of them out.
Okay, because I feel like Utah is like kind of like the place that buys Barretts.
We have a little polygamist community by us. Have you ever been to Colorado?
Yeah, I've driven through it. Yeah.
Or Hilldale. The amount of 50s that we've sold.
I was going to say, I'm wondering where this is going.
The FLDS community is astonishing.
They're big into the 50s.
They are.
Yeah, this is gonna be a Waco situation.
Yes,
have you read about the Waco?
Oh, yeah.
How like the ATF and the FBI was like freaking scared that they had
were
a
shooting
50 sitting in there,
down, weren't they? With the 50s, the Waco, the Branch Davidians.
I don't know if they.
I don't know.
actually
I just
shot
remember very
any-
specifically they were fucking scared that they had a 50. It was like they have like tons of machine guns in there. Yeah, but they also have a 50. They were really scared. Fuck, we just overheated again.
Dang it!
Damn it, we're so close.
Do we need to pause?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so we're back. Technical fail, JB fail again. I really do need to get a third camera body instead of trying to shoot the third video on my camera, my photography camera.
So please share this podcast to your friends. If we can get 8, 9, 10 viewers, JB will buy a new camera.
So the problem is the podcast isn't monetized, so 8 to 10 viewers doesn't do anything for me. Instead, buy Infinite Armory Pro accounts.
We've got to figure out how to make money on this.
If we can get a few more Infinite Armory Pro accounts, then I'll pick up another camera body and we'll be good to go.
I like that.
And if this gets 5 likes, I'll come back down
and shave your head. Oh, sorry, that's just a normal thing. That's what every podcast does.
Really?
Yeah, it's a thing.
I kind of like my. I'm gonna hang on to the hair.
But
I will come back.
Should.
And
as someone who doesn't have any anymore, you definitely should. Yeah.
I don't really remember where we were at.
Something about G3s and whatever.
Yeah.
Battle rifles.
I think you said the Scar was the best gun ever made.
Yeah, I
think we're convinced at this point.
Yeah.
The internet is convinced at this point, and honestly, if they're not, they're wrong. So
well, I mean,
there it is.
man, I'm not even gonna look at the comments anyway. So Couldn't care less.
Nobody watches this. So
I
there
have-
won't be any comments. Don't worry.
One thing I've learned is I have the best opinions on the internet. There's no point in looking at other people's. So
I would agree with that.
yeah.
That's not even a hot take. That's just a normal lukewarm take.
You say that because we have very similar opinions.
That's
I
true.
think. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, that was all the gun chat. We are once again have completely failed at keeping this to a reasonable amount of time that a normal person would even listen to. So we can wrap it up here. I did have an entire other section of topics that I wanted to talk about because we didn't really do a good job covering it when we were introducing you. But beyond just your interest in firearms, you and I in particular have connected over the intersection of like media, photography, videography, and firearms itself, which I think is kind of that like really funny area that there's just a few of us that sit in that love it. I mean, it's like love for movies, you know, which we've talked about quite a bit. Love for just like cool photography. And then it's like mixing in one of the coolest, I would say one of the coolest like subjects that you could take a photo of, which you've done like car photography before too. Yeah. So there's like another one. But certainly mixing one of the coolest subjects with the medium that you and I both love. Yeah. And then what's extra dope is that you have pretty much made a career out of it. Yeah. Like for me, it's always just been a friggin' hobby, but you found a way to actually do it and get paid for it, which I think is a really fun thing to talk about. So my suggestion is let's cut this one short with gun talk, and then let's have you back down soon. Cool. Yeah, and definitely. I would love because you I know are just kind of testing the waters.
I'm dipping my toe into it. So cool. I'm very excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very, very excited.
I think it'd be a really fun, maybe the 3 or 4 people that are watching this could let us know, but I think it would be kind of fun to talk about gun photography. There's a lot of good ways to do it. A lot of stuff that we've learned over the course of doing it. And then it would be interesting to get your take too, as someone who's just kind of stepping into it and wants to get into it. So,
love to.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a great time. Thank you for coming down,
dude. Of course, thanks for having me, guys.
It was great.
Yeah,
really,
appreciate your time. This is has been a really fun project, and I was like from the very onset really stoked at the idea of having you down here and on. So to finally make it a reality is pretty special.
Yeah, dude, definitely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Sweet. Well, once again, thank you, everybody who tuned in. Again, apologies for how long this droned on. We will make it our best effort to finally cut these down in length. But what the hell? We're still early. We're still figuring it out.
We're in charge here.
That's right. Yeah. So,
sorry to the editor, but
yeah, that's the main problem. Yeah,
because she'll just cut it right here.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks everybody, and until next episode. Cheers.